Saturn stations don't just affect people, the countries are also part of it. And a quick look at the chart for Israel, and you can see right away why they're in quite a mess at the moment. A country that was formed with Saturn conjunct Pluto and square to the Sun in the 8th house is potentially set up to be in perpetual conflict, particularly when you see that Eris in the 7th sign, squaring Venus and opposing the 1st house Neptune, foretells open enemies that will be unafraid to fight you through inflicting chaos and mayhem. Notice that the station places Saturn directly opposed itself and Pluto, which is more than enough to correlate with the horrible conflict currently happening in this crazy Middle East cauldron. Solutions aren't much forthcoming either. I've tried really hard to understand both sides, and I have to say they both make great arguments for their cause, but they also both engage in deception and reckless self-interest. The last major conflict was back in 2014 when Saturn was transiting through Scorpio, which makes sense since that would trigger the natal Saturn-Pluto conjunction that squares the Sun by squaring it while simultaneously opposing the 8th house Sun. You can almost predict that a country like this is going to have a hard time whenever Saturn transits through the fixed signs, because then it'll trigger this very difficult natal square. Meanwhile, here we are, and in a month featuring a Saturn station in Aquarius, things really got out of control. And although a ceasefire was brokered as of this past Friday, the station is still too close for comfort, so at minimum, the situation is likely to be tense until next month, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a return to hostilities before everything settles down completely. Also, the upcoming full moon eclipse cuts across the Israeli 9th sign Mercury, and this can serve to destabilize communications and contribute to problems as well. But hopefully the fact that Mercury is in the 9th of foreign affairs and happens to be a planet with very good aspects will mean they will put value on the international pressure they've been feeling and therefore restrain themselves from getting into further mayhem.